we got to get into this 49ers victory over, the Seattle Seahawks. We know the Seattle Seahawks have had, let's be real, they've had their way with the 49ers when Russell Wilson was there. I think the tide has turned. Now we've won 3 straight games against the Seahawks. I got to know who stood out to you on the offensive side of the ball. Let's start off with Amin the Dream. Who stood out to you, man, on the offensive side of the ball?
I mean, let's go with the obvious one in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy had
Ooh.
himself his first playoff game. I remember that I think the last time I was on the straight out with the straight out of the Bay crew, I was talking about Purdy's having a great regular season, but can he do it in the playoffs? And yes, he can do it in the playoffs. And you saw it. Obviously, the Seahawks, aren't the best team, but they are a playoff team. And Purdy had himself a great game, right? Obviously, the first half was a little bit shaky but came out in the second half, looked more comfortable, looked more poised, and did what he's been doing this whole entire season when he's gotten the opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. So a player that stood out to me on Sunday was definitely Brock Purdy, and one throw that stood out to me, which ended up which ended up being an incompletion. Which ended up being incomplete. An incomplete pass was to Brandon Ayuk. That was some Mahomes type stuff right there. Brock Purdy extending the play in the red zone, back of the end zone, and Ayuk, man, that's the catch that Ayuk would have had 9 times out of 10, but on that play, Brandon Ayuk dropped it. But that one, I wish Ayuk caught that one because that was some Mahomes stuff right there. But Brock Purdy definitely did his thing, and hopefully he can continue to do that throughout the remainder of the playoffs.
Absolutely. I gotta say, what's good? I like what Raphael said. He said Brock Purdy is the third 49ers quarterback with 300 plus yards, 3 plus touchdowns since Montana and Young in the playoffs. I mean, he's doing big things out there. He's looking good. He's setting records every game. It's really an amazing story. And huge shout out to Eric. He is a Seattle Seahawks fan, man. We appreciate you coming in and congratulating us. We appreciate that. Now let's continue on with the offensive players of the game. Who stood out to you? Let's go with Celts Chronicles, man. Who stood out to you on the gridiron on Saturday?
Now I gotta talk a little bit about Brock Purdy, but I also gotta give a huge shout out to Raphael 562 Niners. I can't see it on Restream for whatever reason. Maybe it's on all of our channels, but I believe, I'm looking at it over here. I believe he is my first member to my channel. So
Ooh, nice.
welcome Raphael 562 Niners on becoming a riser. That's what I call him because part of what I say is faithful. Rise up, yee! Hey, so anybody who is a member on my channel, you're a part of the riser crew. I don't know exactly how I want to call it, but hey, props to
That's
you,
dope.
my man. Real talk. Hey, hopefully we can all elevate, rise up, levitate, and do all those great things together. And man, because I know there's one guy who's rising up, and that is Brock freaking Purdy, and I want to talk a little bit about Debo as well, but Brock Purdy, hey, to Raphael's point, like, I mean, my God, this man is the third, it's the third time ever we had a quarterback in 49er history. It's like ever. It's like I almost have to like enunciate that or, whatever the right word is, but ever. It's the first dude or the first time. I mean, he's the first rookie to ever have 4 touchdowns in the playoffs. He is the 7th rookie ever to win. He is only the 5th player ever to have 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rushing touchdowns. Only Mahomes, Matt Ryan's, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Montana ever pulled that off. And for this man to be a rookie, it's the third time ever that the 49ers have went over 500 yards in the playoffs. 2013, we did it with Kaepernick versus the Green Bay Packers, and then we also did it versus Miami in the Super Bowl in 85, 84 season. So when you start getting into territory that's ever being done in NFL history, it was a few weeks back. He was in the same conversation of the only player with not Joe Montana, Dan Marino, the only player to do the things that he's doing. And then what was the other guy? It was Dan Marino, and there was another player. He was also Kurt Warner. You know, when you
Mm.
start getting it, and all these guys are Hall of Famers, and this dude is doing it, and he's only played what 7 games. Like, you know, I see. All right, in the first half, I seen it where it was like, okay, a couple overthrows, okay, a couple of coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't happen interceptions. It's like if this dude was still able to do what he did and he had mistakes throughout the first half, could you imagine when the game slows down for this dude? It's just remarkable what he's doing. And I'm just super juiced up about it. Debo, and what a way to step up and stand out. I'm pretty sure on every show last week, every single show I did, I'm pretty sure with you guys too. I was like, "Hey man, get ready because I think we're going to be hearing some Debo.
Oh.
Oh, Debo."
Oh,
I said it all week on any show. I was like, "Get ready. Hey, he's the wild card. He's that hidden gem." Last year he was pulling us through all year long. Now he gets to kind of just uh get in where he fits in, and it's just so fun to be a San Francisco 49er fan right now. Come on, Dallas, we ready. We ready. Let's get it.
What about you, Bay Area? What you think?
I mean, we could look at this 49er offense and pick anybody. I mean, shout out to Kyle Shanahan. He was in his bag. The 49ers scored on 8 of their 9 possessions. That was 4 touchdowns, 4 field goals. There was only 1 punt in the game. That's not counting the last 3 plays they used to run out the clock. But Kyle Shanahan was in this bag. In his bag, they were carving up this Seahawk defense. And Brock Purdy, he was sensational. How many times did we see him hit these 20-yard deep dig routes where Kyle's scheming it up? Yeah, Ayuk's open. Yeah, Kittle's open. But Purdy's throwing it right on the money, hitting guys in stride. And fellas, he's got these cat-like reflexes in the pocket where as soon as someone's coming at him, he evades the rush, gets outside. He makes improvisational plays every week. And it's just been refreshing to watch. It's exciting to watch this offense. Debo Samuel, the dude showed off his speed on that 70-yard touchdown catch and run. He also showed off his physicality. The Seahawks tried to play dirty. They were twisting Debo's ankle after the play. That fired up this whole 49er team. That pissed them off. And but Debo was playing physical and fast. It was good to see him play one of his best games of the season in the playoffs. So I'm happy, want to see that continue. And Christian McCaffrey, got to shout out McCaffrey. What did he
Thank
have
you.
here? He had
Thank you. I was just
100.
about to say. Nobody's mentioning Christian McCaffrey, the
Yeah,
guy that the
we got to
Niners
mention
brought in.
McCaffrey. Yeah. He had 119 on the ground, caught a couple passes. We saw the 68-yard rush, which was blocked up so well. Even on the Debo catch, we saw Ayuk blocking 30 yards downfield. The blocking in this game was phenomenal. This whole 49er team played with such physicality. The Seahawks couldn't contain it. They couldn't handle it. But yeah, I thought they just blocked well. They were just playing super physical, getting, as Chris Berman says, you get a seal here, you get a seal there, and that's how you get explosive runs.